I don't find it hard to retain it because I know what I like, you know, because, I mean, that's the basis of the Fall as well. You know, we do what we like.
Yeah, we are the Fall and we are the best. Yeah, we are the Fall and we are the best. Yeah, we are the Fall and we are the best. Yeah, we are the Fall and we are the best.
All right, we're back. I'm Steve.
And I'm Gavin.
We're listening to the Slates EP today.
We are the Fall.
We are the best. This was released in April 24th of 1981 on Rough Trade Records.
So this is an EP, and I'm kind of wondering nowadays if is the Fall an EP band? Do you know what I'm saying? Are they more meant for the EP format? We know they like to jam as many songs as possible onto their albums, but is the EP format actually the ideal format for the Fall and what they do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense with Mark's kind of mentality of record it and forget it, sort of. We'll get it on tape.
Yeah.
That's as good as it's ever gonna be. That's perfect the way we did it, and let's keep plugging along, moving forward.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be because they don't do conceptual albums that are like front to back,
Sure.
there's no linear thing. It doesn't really matter if you got 5 songs or 12 songs, but if you can string together 5 songs that are somewhat have a nice flow to them, I think that's much more fitting, and I think that's much more the Fall style. We can both agree they're very much a live band first and foremost, but maybe the EP. I've been thinking maybe the EP is the best format for them as far as listening to them, because you're able to just get that perfect amount. You're obviously going to get the one long song, the one long epic song, you're going to get the one song that's weird, like we were talking in the Patreon episode, fast punk rock song. But and also we were just doing, and those that have now listened to the Patreon only episode of us hanging out and listening to the Peel sessions 3, 4, and 5 together, you guys are really missing out because we really got to have some fun. And listening to the Peel sessions is 4 songs, right? I mean, all of those sessions are 4 songs, and that seems like the perfect presentation piece for the Fall, especially at this point. And actually, I don't even know how many EPs did the Fall make. I know there's a lot of singles. I mean, we've
a lot of singles out there,
but EPs.
Yeah, because this was on a 10-inch mini LP, so it's not.
Yeah, this was a 10-inch record on Rough Trade, right? I like that Rough Trade's just like, yeah, you guys can do a 10-inch record. I'm sure that's not ideal, but it's an EP. Maybe it is ideal. Maybe you get a little extra. You're making a little extra cash on the EP sales. Less songs though.
Yeah, right. It's customized size. It's got I don't know what it was like making records back in the 80s, but like probably more complicated, right?
Yeah, 10-inch. Yeah. The sound quality is automatically not as good at 10-inch record than a 12-inch record. Live albums, partially live albums.
it's not like these things take a lot of production, right? Like, so you can pump these things out constantly, even if you put them, even if they were like double-sided LPs where one side was an EP and the backside was an EP, and like you don't have to relate the two. It's not a full album. It's two
Yeah, that would be
separate,
great.
separate kind of things, right? Like
Yes. No,
you're
that would actually be great for the fall too. Double A side. I mean, they kind of like their double A side where you don't really know what the A side and the B side are. That's the best way to be uh to have the fall because you don't really, we like to rank things and rate things for fun, but really you throw them in any order and they're just going to be it's the fall, so it's great. It's going to be you can listen to side B first and then side A and have a different experience, but it's going to be the same quality, either way you do it. It's the flexibility. We could listen to all these albums backwards and would it make that much of a difference?
no,
Probably not.
yeah. If you didn't pay attention to what side you pulled out of the record and just put it on,
Yeah.
you wouldn't
No.
really notice the difference.
We'd probably say the exact same thing. You'd be like, "Oh, that's a great lead off track," but it's really the last track. It doesn't really matter.
They do not put
So you
out
guys can
another,
stop listening to
oh
this.
yeah, right. They do not put out another EP until 1990, August of 1990.
Okay.
The Dredger,
Okay.
a 12-inch.
So very rare. Um, so if they start with the EP, right? The Bingo Masters Breakout, they start with the EP. They give you, then we get this EP 3-4 years later, 5 years later, 4 years later, and then you got to wait what 10 years,
9 years.
9 years, and you get another EP, and then after that the EP is like a fading thing after that point.
93.
93, and I also see one in 2013 called the Remainder 10-inch.
Oh, and the upcoming as another Patreon supporter special, a 7-inch, a Protein Christmas. We wish you were a Protein Christmas 2003.
Oh, so that will go out to our number one Patreon subscriber. If you subscribe, and you can subscribe for free and get all the bonus episodes currently, so just do it, and you can hear all of our extra episodes by joining our Patreon. And if you want to throw us a five spot, what are they, a quid? You throw us a quid for a pint a month, then we'll give you some extra bonus stuff, and we might have some merch that come your way that you might like if you're fall head as well. But so the EP, you're gonna get a little, it's a nice present that you're gonna get every once in a while from the fall, and maybe we should just
start playing. I mean, I think they do that kind of with their live albums, right? Like
yeah, true.
They're kind of like a set of EP with how many different live albums they put on.
Yeah, totally.
Like, okay, here's what we're liking right now. Listen.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's what they probably just had these tracks and we're like, these are good, because I don't think we hear Middle Mass on Peel sessions, right? But these other ones in the early Peel sessions, we don't hear these yet. So these were all of the moment, and you can tell that some of them are of the moment, and then some of them, I think there's actually the start and the end of this EP are some of the most strongest, but maybe underrated songs. So let's just jump right into it. Let's get Middle Mass going. Boom.
Evil's not in extremes. It's in the aftermath. The middle mass. After the fact. Vulturous in the aftermath.
It says that Mark said he really liked this EP, but he claimed it was aimed at people who didn't buy records. What do you think he meant by that? Because it's not a record, it's a 10-inch EP.
Yeah, and is he targeting
Yeah.
the
Who's he
cheapskate
targeting?
music guy out there? The guy who's like, I'm not going to spend full price, but I'll buy this.
Oh,
It's only a couple bucks, maybe.
yeah. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Yeah, the guy that only buys singles, right? Or the person, right? That only buys singles. But they said, "Oh, it's not an album though. Maybe I can get this. Maybe I can pony up a little extra, couple quid, and get this EP and maybe get into the fall a little bit. All my friends are talking about the fall. Might
I
get
heard they're the
that.
best.
I heard they are the best. The lead singer said they're the best, so I want to see if it all, adds up. Like we were saying earlier in the Patreon episode of the Peel Sessions, if you're gonna get into the fall, you have to have a certain amount, right? To get you acclimated so that you're ready for when it goes really, really far, the boundaries start expanding in front of you. So a single's not going to do it. You need to have a couple more so that you really are, you're going to the water level that's going up to your chin. You're start to get acclimated to the temperature.
Yeah, I like the whispering they got kind of going on here.
Yeah.
His body's like a tape loop, and he has softness, but he's the last domain.
The boys like a tape loop is a great line. I got no idea what he's talking about, and I don't really care.
The hard drug insider mates.
Yeah. The hard drug insider mates. Yeah, later, mate.
I'll see you later, mate.
So a middle mass with Mark.
Yeah, I also like the line of a very black back room brain.
Oh, that's good too. He always preferred the back room at the pub too. And I forgot which fall book it was, but they're talking about how he walked into the pub, or maybe his main pub, and he go right to the back room and he take the chairs from around this table and turn them so the backs were facing towards the entranceway. And he would sit there, and then whoever he came with would sit next to him, and they would just stare at the wall, but they would be totally disconnected from the whole pub, because their backs are to everything else. And I thought that was just an interesting picture to picture Mark just with whoever guest or whatever, or his partner at the time, to just be staring at the wall and totally like, no one better come over here and fuck with me, because I'm just trying to do my other job, which is to have some drinks and write some things down.
Yeah, I was gonna say
into a different world.
You wonder if that's what was going on. Was that his creative moment, right? Like, I need to quiet the noise. And
yeah, he doesn't want to get interrupted by the fan boys, right?
Yeah, I mean, how do you think that was happening a lot to him at this point?
I think because, I'm just assuming that because Manchester, even though it's a city, it seems like everyone kind of knew of each other, and it was so family oriented too, right? You have so many cousins. Like Mark's like, yeah, I just got I just go into the bank and it's my cousin, or the bakery, and then that's my other distant relative. Like everyone kind of knows each other. So I kind of feel like once you're on the John Peel show, I gotta think that you have some sort of recognition. But also, he was saying that he would be talking to guys at the pub, like even later in the career, and they'd be like, "Oh, you went to Las Vegas, Mark?" I said, "Mark, why'd you go to Las Vegas? Was it with that band thing?" And they had no idea, that the fall was anything. It was like in the 1990s. He's like, "Oh, did you go for fun, or did you do it with your band, like as a band thing?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, we were on tour, so we were there playing shows." And they're like, "Oh, that must have been so fun. I want to go to Las Vegas so bad." They have no recognition of the fall being a international band.
We're internationally known, yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to take an older lover now?
Yeah, this one is so low key. You don't usually get this from Mark, where you get him chilling.
Gonna take it side of her. To take an older lover, get ready for old stories of teenage sex.
It's a mean song, but it's also a very cool, interesting song.
It's oddly catchy in a bizarre way, but yeah,
Yeah,
like I've
it
just
is.
been like humming along to it all day, like, oh, that would take a younger love, not
Yeah.
older.
It's got a circle repetitiveness, right? It's not repetitive just going straight back and forth, but it's got like this circle that's like leading you somewhere, but it goes back up to the top. That bass going around.
Do you think Kay Carroll was a big fan of this one?
I don't think Kay was intimidated at all.
Because
She was managing a tough group of
but she
dudes.
apparently, well, not apparently, she's 11 years older than Mark, so she took it as a slash to her.
Did she? She did
Yeah.
take it as a slight. I mean, Mark is known to pull that move, you know,
Oh yeah, especially
the power move.
especially
Yeah.
if he needs to take you down a notch. He's not
Yeah.
afraid to.
There's a good story about one of the Hanley brothers. They were like Mark came into the studio and he had a chocolate bar and he gave it to them. I forgot which one it was. I wish I would remembered. But he gave him a chocolate bar. He was like, here, he's like, here, mate. He's like, here, have this chocolate bar, this candy bar. And he goes into the room and they start like recording his vocal overdubs or maybe like the actual track. And they're recording that. And he starts doing these lyrics that are like I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, why don't you stuff your face with that candy bar some more? Just calling him out right after he gave it to him. And I'm like, that is the fucking worst. That is the fucking most asshole thing to do. But I mean, I think they took it really well. I mean, they're all fucking funny dudes. They have to have a sense of humor to work with Mark in general, right? But I think he took it as fight, but he was kind of like, what the fuck? You just gave this to me.
Yeah.
You just gave this to me, and now you're recording a song with this? Oh my god.
Did you want to watch me eat it while you sang this to me?
Yeah. It was just like the motivator for you. You know, this is how you get it psyched up. All right. What about whole art threat?
I mean,
The pro art threat.
I said I like this short and fast, but
Pink bracelet! I'm buying two glass on a one-touch string. I'm sort of not like a windy crane on a pink pole threads. Get out the pink bracelet file and about the subject. It's Nemo's recluse time.
So
it's
Prole
it's
is
an aggressive one.
Yeah, this one is very, I'm going to say very artistic.
Yeah, the drums are intense.
Yeah. I like the drums. I like the drums because at least they change and go to the floor tom, you know, like the more of a driving low rhythm after all of that snare drumming. And it's so compressed. It's going right into your, you know, the really middle area of your eardrum. But so a prole is a member of the working class worker. So if you're a prole art threat, is that the combination? Or is that the working class worker is the art threat, artistic threat? It's probably all of them.
Yeah, I mean, Mark wants to take them all down.
Yeah. If you're too artsy, that's too much for Mark. If you're too working class, that's too much for Mark, but also at least he can find something in that's, you know, there's a soul to that.
Yeah, you're at least honest, right? You're
Yeah.
doing an honest day's work versus.
Yeah. Your intentions are straightforward, right? You get too artistic. Okay, so that was prole art threat, and I believe this is the point where we're gonna flip this record over. this EP, this 10-inch, which any of you out there that have a 10-inch record, you get this cute little little adolescent album sleeve. Not a full, but a nice one.
It's definitely a different text. I haven't done this yet, so that's interesting on the side.
Yes. I like the
And
text as well.
yeah, I mean the photo, there's a little bit to be desired.
So what is going on in this photo? It's a sideways photo,
Sideways photo.
and we get the band, obviously, but I'm trying to figure out, is there I see one of the guitars, then I see maybe the bass, maybe Steve Hanley right there in the middle.
The Hanley
And
brothers
then,
and then Mark in the top
oh,
bottom right corner.
bottom right corner is Mark in the warm light. And I can't really make out any drums, so it's got to be over there behind
Yeah, you see that little fall thing
the
in
guitarist.
the
Oh yes, I do see the fall thing, which is actually the right side up. That's okay. I give him that. That's kind of fun. And then we get, as usual, or I should say, generally the move of the fall up to this point is to list out the track names on the front, which I I understand it, but I like it to be I like to have a clean, album cover that really is not a lot of text. It's just a statement, and then put all of my information on the back or on the inside. And actually, I prefer it on the inside so I can have a little,
and I mean you can see
something to explore.
right on the front, maybe going back to what we were saying about the cheapskate record buyer, costs £2 only. Right there.
Where
Right
does it
there.
say that? It says it on yours?
If you go on the fall.org one, costs
Okay.
$5 only.
This one says it costs £2 only. You
And
skinny rats.
And then
And
the
then
American version, you go down
$5 only.
$5
You
only.
skinny rat. I mean, come on, £2, $5. I'm definitely getting that. I like that they just covered up the £2 only and then just wrote $5 only in like a different
Yeah, yellow piece of paper.
a different, yeah, and also a different marker. It's
Oh yeah, sure.
not even as dark.
Yeah, or blocky or whatever.
Yeah. In general, I like this cover a lot. Someone on Reddit has Marky Smith's cover art concept sketch for the Slates EP, and guess what it's written on?
Napkins.
Oh, you're close. Coaster.
Coaster.
Beer coaster. So he's got this coaster, and it basically it has, the only thing that is pretty close here is the text in the text order, and it's not even on the right side. They flipped it, and then it just says a 9x7 photo, and then skinny rats, and then the cost. And he also had some other words that it's probably good he didn't put those. He has milk times 2, cigarettes, the British word for cigarettes, and dog roll. So he's got his shopping list. He has his grocery list on the album art sketch on a beer coaster. Yeah, I mean, this looks right. I almost wish they just blew up this writing that's on this coaster as the album art, and we'll post this too. But wouldn't that be good?
Oh
Just
yeah.
And then the back of the album cover is the front of the coaster. That would be cool. And the front of the coaster is Joseph Holt Limited, brewers of traditional mild and bitter. So some sort of brewery, beer brand of the UK is the front of the coaster. Also, how does this dude have this? That's a nice little piece of memento. Like that.
Yeah, that's pretty intense, right?
Yeah. I'm wondering if the artist was just like, yeah, Mark gave me this. Do you want it? Mark gave me this and I made the album cover and now I'm done. And this seems like it still has his grocery list. Can you get it back to him? Simple man.
Can you buy the things that he needs and bring them over?
Yeah. He gives it to the artist and says, also, when you're done making our album cover for the EP, can you just grab a pack of cigarettes, two jugs of milk, and whatever a dog roll is. Does that say dog roll or does it say bog roll? Or does it say...
It looks like dog roll to me.
It does look like dog roll. So maybe he's a dog.
I don't
lover.
see a bee. I don't see one of his written bees anywhere else.
I don't either. It looks like dog roll. He needs a dog roll. Okay. All right. So side A done. Album art. I say quality.
Yeah, the backside has just
Trash.
Just lists out the songs.
See, if you're listening
Oh
on the
no,
front,
there's some good ones. Middle mass, you are what you call it, but it's better than becoming the new Swiss. A holy characterization.
okay.
An old lover, real Bert Finn stuff. Prolo art threat, starring Gent and Man in a Sada mix-up. Spy thriller.
See, he was always thinking in that way, like the catchphrase, the trailer, the theme of the thing. But then it's so abstract, it never comes across.
Well, and it's also so one-off. Like it's not like that all of them are an idea and it's building on itself. It's like, nope, this is my idea and it's now complete. Thank you very much. It's been 5 minutes. I hope you got it.
Yeah, he had so many words just sprawled throughout notebooks and things that he was just pulling stuff and like, yep, that's good for that. And then you just throw it down, right? And that's good for that. And now it's done. Yeah, he was the same with the music, same with the art. But I like that he had input on the art. Like I was before I got into listening to the albums proper by the fall, I didn't have any idea that because all the artwork looks so after the first 4 things, like the album artwork looks so different. And then as it goes forward, it goes even, more drastic from album to album that I had no idea that he was initially that involved. Asking his sister to do things. That's cool. It gives the credit, the album art cover artwork, the credit is for Marky Smith. Even though it seems like his notes are very, very rough, general.
Was there much art creation to it?
I mean, if he gives the notes to someone, that might be the same way he works with the band, where the band is like, "Hey, Mark, we got this good riff. Like, this is a good song," and then he's like, "Oh yeah, make it more, just give some like a general like note. Make it more no, not like that. There's something he said one time was like, play the guitar like a snake."
Yeah.
Like, play the guitar like a snake. Oh yeah, that's the way it should be. And the guitar player is like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna play this exact same way. Play it the exact same way. Mark's like, that's it. That's the way to do it. That's the one. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it into your thick skull.
He did not have much of a musical
the language was not
the
there.
language was down. He knew what he wanted to hear, but he did not at all understand how to create it himself.
He could record the TV and play the tape loops, but no, that wasn't it. So with that, let's get into the side B and the last 3 songs. And we start off with
Fit and Working Again.
Okay.
I'm fit and working again. Walk down the road in the sun. I make a path to a 40 strong gang. And I'm fit and working again. I think we've seen the tail I'm bit of working again.
Great piano solo to start this one off.
The back of the EP suggests for fit and working. Religion costs much, but religion costs much more.
Do you agree? You agree with that?
Yeah, your religion.
Irregardless, religion's going to happen.
Your religion is a word. Surprisingly, indifference or hostility to religion or lack
Opposite
of religious
of
belief.
religion. I like when his voice gets more and more affected with the reverb, and then he's like going in outer space, and then they bring it back, and then it's like pure dry.
Stimulus, reason, if you got the most, which breeds us, analysis is academic.
That's so cool. That's using the studio trickery in pure, almost like an amateur way. Because it said, "Oh, look at this! Now look at his voice sounds really fucked up. It's going outer space. Oh, and then we bring it back down. That's good, but only for part of it. Like they never want to go too far with the effects. I always feel like they're kind of always thinking, we got to play this live. Actually, I don't think they're even thinking about that. They're just like, let's record this well as performance, and if we want to add any little touches, that's what we'll do." He's putting on this affectation like a high voice.
He's ready. Well, his lungs are encrusted in blood.
Is this like a middle class working story where someone was ill or someone was maybe taking the time off for whatever reason, and they finally made it back feeling good
Feeling good. Right?
in the routine?
They didn't have to take their Alka-Seltzer anymore. They could throw it away. They ate 8 sheets of blotting paper instead. Gotta soak that blood up.
That's a nice one. That's a nice. After the Polar threat, that's cool.
Yeah, the piano's nice.
I like the piano. You never get the regular piano.
No, it's sharp.
It is sharp. And then we go into the somewhat title track Slates, Slags, etc., written by all the members of the band. This is a big old fall inclusive joint. So let's listen to this one.
Here's the definitive rant. Slates drive me bats, therefore I bait. Hey Slates, give us a break. A meal slave, sir. Playing Slates and tears, sir. Everything's slain by the state. They're the great ones of our state.
What's a slag in British slang? I think
it's like a slut.
Oh, yep, you're right. It is. It's a woman who has a lot of sexual partners.
That's why he talks about male slags.
Oh,
At
male
one
slags.
point, he called. I don't know if it's this one or one of the
Yeah,
other
it
ones
is this
where
one too. Yeah. He starts with the male slags. Oh, it's male slags throughout, and then he says male slates with creaky pants and scrubbed hands. So you learn something every day you listen to The Fall. So to slate is to cuss or to insult, or in UK it's to attack by criticizing. To write or say that something is very bad. Her last book was slated by the critics. Okay.
Yeah. To thrash or pummel severely. I'm gonna slate you good.
I'm gonna slate those slags. Now this is a typical fall song where Mark is just unloading his notebook, and this is very garage rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say heavier on the garage, the bass. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
And then it goes to an off note as the chorus. It's an anti-chorus. It kind of jumps up and goes, and it gives you a peek and then back down into the 2-note verses. I really wish they would throw in one more note, but then it wouldn't be a fall song. If they threw in one more note, it would be an actual garage rock song instead of a fall garage rock song.
It's your classic 6-minute fall song. You know what
Yeah.
you're getting. Dog bites the dicks that feed it.
I mean, that could be good on the tombstone too, on the headstone.
I like that. Break your balls and suck your thoughts.
How about the line, with stuck-up hair and new shitty pants, new beatniks with hoop shirts, big priest, give us a break. He's bringing that priest back in for a little spanking.
Sounds like the 2000s. You got your little pushed up hair, fancy
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah. I like the
I mean,
Valley of Weights. I like
Gr-
the visual of the Valley of Weights.
Growing up in Chicago, I mean, it was that same sort of break your balls and tear each other down sort of mentality. That seems like is super
Yeah,
common
that's-
in England as well, where like that's how you relate to your, whether it's your best friend or
yeah.
your worst enemy, you're gonna
I
bust their balls at some point.
I think you're right though, man. This is like I don't know what it is. I've never been to Manchester, but I feel like Manchester, just from what I know, and also the music, and then Chicago music, it's very working class. And also once you become, not a lot of Chicago bands become famous in like the most famous of terms. Like let's just think about like in rock and roll sense, or Wilco, right? Wilco is a famous band, right? They're famous, but even by the standards of like infamy, they're very just kind of like a niche band that's well loved, but you're always
And I
going to get
mean-
your balls busted if you are actually going for the pure fame and you don't get it, or you do get it, you're going to get your balls busted even harder. And I think Manchester was probably very similar in that regard. I think you're right. Also, doesn't it seem very industrial?
Oh,
Like
yeah, for
Chicago is
sure.
so industrial. Manchester is so industrial. It's near the coast, right? He was
Especially-
driving to the docks.
especially in the music scene too, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
in Chicago, it's an industrial setting. It sounds like
Yeah,
most of these
true.
clubs were tucked away in industrial, buildings
Yeah.
and bars and stuff like that. Like,
It did seem like there was a community, or there was an audience and community for whatever type of music in Manchester existed. And that's what I always like about Chicago. If there's electronic music going on, there's a community for that. And there's a community that's like a strong community for that. If there's just straight up art rock or experimental music, there's a big community for that. Jazz, anything. I feel like Manchester was probably like that too. Even though Mark took a lot of it as a slight to be not accepted by the mainstream, I think he did pretty well for himself, considering how fucking far out there his band was to have a big audience. And I think you can get that in Chicago. You find that community.
yeah, oh yeah,
Or
for
to
sure.
hear,
I mean,
or
there's
just if you're a listener, to listen to that, right?
to be able to experience it in its natural sense, like you
Yeah.
truly can if you seek it out, right? It's
If
not
you're looking
always-
for it, yeah. Yeah.
It's not always easy, but it is certainly there for the taking if you put a little bit of effort in.
Also, Mark was like not trying to be friends with anyone in the scene, which is a bit extreme. It's a bit extreme tactic because he didn't want to be associated with anything besides himself, which is cool. You want to be the singular thing. But
I mean, it's isolating, and it's also
Yeah.
just kind of
it was self-isolating.
self-isolating for sure. But I don't know, it doesn't like expand your art if you're not willing to
Yeah, true. I mean, don't.
whether
Yeah.
you don't even have to collaborate to make it worth your while, but at least to be a part of it and walking around thinking you're better than everybody else doesn't usually end up for a fantastic guy you really want to be buds with, like.
Yeah, but it only works when you're right.
I was gonna say when you can create, which he does, right?
Yeah.
I mean, which is always the weight he bared, right? Like the critics and the lovers. That was who he was, I guess, right?
The only thing I could think of that he would be concerned about as far as being associated by, he had all these real weird rules, right, and hangups about different things, different behaviors. But the only thing I could think of that would make him make that a rule for himself and his band is he was very protective of his band. So when any of the band members and he found out about it, would go and practice with another band or like their side band, what happened to him? Fucking kicked out, right? Like he didn't want them to be influenced by anything other than what this nucleus of whatever the makeup of the band was at the time, what they decided was the best for the band. And Markway had the strongest voice with Kay or whoever was managing. But so like if you're getting into the community and you're interacting with the other people and be like, oh, you guys are doing a cool thing too, I like that, then you automatically are influenced and being like, Mark didn't want to see like, oh, you guys are going to start sounding like the fucking Smiths, because you were just like at the pub and you saw the Smiths play. You guys are going to start playing like really twangy melodic riffs. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want you to even see that. I don't even want you to witness it, let alone talk to them and act all buddy. So I think that's really interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting choice, but obviously it did have an output effect where they didn't really go with any trend for the whole thing. The whole time.
And yeah, it's basically, you have so many members, so you're obviously getting influence no matter what, because you can't keep your bubble, but
yes,
you do create like and isolate the musicians, right? Like, oh no, you're mine, you're my toy now to play with, and you're gonna stay here and do what I want. And like I know some of them have even said like it's like the Stockholm syndrome where you just start to relate to your captor. You're like, oh yeah, Mark is the best. He's the smartest. He's so creative. He's creating magic, and I want to be a part of it. And
so many people around him were just like saying those things, and then half the band was like, oh, I've seen him and he's fucking full of shit, but he still has this pull, which is something that no one else can do. Like we replace him with anyone else or we get a new band, there's not going to be anyone nearly as I don't know, it just has magnetism.
It's just like the cult leader, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm sure what you're saying makes sense. I agree.
Yes, it makes sense to me right now.
There's
especially because you said I did a good job.
I did a good job. Other people like you and think you're cool. I guess I should too.
Yeah. And Mark did play that little cult leader role a lot of the times when he would bring in someone new, or like someone was thinking about leaving that he appreciated. He would say, okay, let's go out and get you a new guitar. Let's get you a new bass. Let's go shopping. Let me take you out to a nice dinner. And he would never do this in any other situation besides when they're leaving or when they just are coming in.
To manipulate, right?
Yeah, to straight manipulate, which is sad, but also, dang, like he was like working so many levels that even the band members were like, they couldn't be bothered with it either, because they were just like, I'm trying to make the best art I can right now. Like they were also focused on the same goals. It's crazy because it did come out. And speaking of really great art, I think we should jump into the last track, which I think is one of my favorite underrated fall songs, called Leave the Capital.
Hand on the shoulder in Leicester Square, it's vaudeville, pop back room. dusty pictures of bankrupt girls and music teachers. The best of clean waters, poisons for the system, and you know in your brain.
Can you let me know how you like this one? Because I've been listening to this one a bunch lately.
It is unavailable on Spotify.
What? Mr. Spotify.
It's I don't know. I got the whole album plus some bonus tracks on the backside, but
Okay.
Leave the Capital is grayed out.
I just assume that this is a song that Mark wrote about the January 6th insurrection. Is that right?
Yeah, he knew. He was like Nostradamus.
He predicted it. So what are you feeling about Leave the Capital?
I always like
What?
when Mark takes me back in time, and I'm gonna assume I'm a Roman soldier right now, so that's where I'm going.
Oh.
Hotel maids smile in unison. It's always fun.
This one has really good double tracking vocals by Mark. I'm glad he took the time to double track those vocals because he even whispers some parts and then adds a double track where he's talking regular. It's nice dynamic. And this guitar, come on. Can I get this Craig Scanlon, Mark Riley guitar? I don't know who's playing this one, but this one is riffing. I'm guessing Riley. Yeah. He's on here second, right? Mark Riley.
Kate Carroll even gets on the kazoo for this album.
Mark handed off the kazoo. It's mixed way back though. Like this is a good mixed kazoo. There's just a texture.
There's a little mouth popping.
Yeah, a little pop. Honestly, I could do without the kazoo, but the kazoo is not adding anything for me. But I understand. You want to have one weird instrument per track. I like to have one. That's like the wild card. Throw it in. Oh, it even sounds like a harmonica, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
This is not credited though as anyone playing the harmonica. Maybe Grant Chobis did it. Let's just say Grant Chobis did it. We'll start the fall rumor. Grant Chobis plays harmonica. Great ending track. Like I said at the beginning, I like the way this EP starts off and the way that it ends, and then the interspersing of far out songs with kind of straightforward, chill, lovely songs in the middle. It makes it one of a perfect EP. So with that, what do you got on this EP in general?
It was I mean, altogether it was very enjoyable. Yeah, I like the variations of sound, different music.
Different music throughout. Different notes.
Add some instruments. Change the lyrics up. It's all good. It changes the songs.
I thought you were making the list of all the changes to you want to hear, like change up all the songs, change up all the words, make the instruments different, and we got a good album.
And we got a good. We'll make it better.
We'll make it even better or different, at least different, if not way better. So, if you had to give a rating to this version or your version that you're picturing of changing it up, making maybe even getting all different band members and replacing Mark.
Yeah, I want them to rewrite this every 5 years with who's ever in the band and see how it played out.
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear this is like the litmus test where they come back and they say, now let's see what we can do with this group. And also you sing it. You sing it this time. Without any lyric sheet. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to repeat myself, but The Fall seemed like an EP band. So I'd like to have this one and I'd like to rate this one. There's only half of a song where I'm like, this, I could do with something else. So I'm going to give this 5 out of 6 pints.
5 out of 6.
Yeah, out of 6 pints, giving it 5.
All right. I mean, I'll have I'll go with a pint of song. So I'll give it 6. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay.
It was good. If we want to, go ahead and continue the trend, the back of the album for Slate, Slags, etc. It says full bias content guaranteed. Plagiarism infests the land.
Oh,
Academic thinnies ream off names of books and band.
oh, we get a little poem on the back.
And 4, leave the capital. Any capital. Polite, no manners, plus barman of the year.
Barman of the year.
Barman of the year claims equals quick exits.
Equals quick exits. Huh. I like that too.
Barman of the year claims.
I almost need to see this in person. I need to see this, in physical form, this album. Because I feel like I'm missing out a lot just looking at the digitized art.
Leaning deeper and deeper into your computer so you can read the small letters.
It's intentionally obscured, which is good. It's a lot of things are intentionally obscured about the fall, which makes it all the more fun to go back and listen to. So I think we will do that, but we have to move forward. So thanks again to listening to We Are the Fall.
You are the best.